sensor fusion in action. And here we have fused really two essential elements. One is the path of the shopper, which we measured by putting a Wi-Fi tracking device on the carts, active Wi-Fi. And then the other, of course, is point of sale. And to fuse the two together, we measured exactly when the shopping cart went through the checkout with an infrared beacon. So we had essentially tags like these two devices here.
Yep.
This is a badge form of the tag. There's a little bit smaller one that we put on the bottom of the shopping cart. And then the key is that there's a little infrared sensor window on the tag. And then we have these infrared beacons, which can give a very precise location by creating a beam that can be made to be very narrow of infrared. These are incidentally battery powered. The batteries can last for several years.
Wow.
And they're completely unconnected.
Yep.
But they can cast a very narrow shadow. And when the shopping cart then passes through that and the sensor detects the infrared, that will indicate the exact moment at which the cart is passing the point of sale terminal. And that's almost always within the window of the checkout. So now, if we know when that cart is passing through the checkout, we can also know where it's been because of the Wi-Fi. We can piece together and recreate that shopping journey.
Wow.
And so we know where they went and how fast they were passing different items, where they stopped and put certain things in their basket. And at the end of the trip, we can do very interesting analysis to say, in an area like produce, for example, how much did they spend per minute total versus clothing or pharmacy, for example? What was the average margin per minute? What were the departments that they visited where they spent a lot of time dwelling but they really didn't buy a whole lot, or vice versa? So where might the conversion opportunities be to improve that? And so this just is one example of a path, but we aggregated this for 50 or 60,000 paths over a 3-month period. And we came to some very interesting conclusions. We found one thing I call a conversion cliff, which is where 95% of the shoppers were spending 2 minutes or more in a small area, but not buying anything. And the 5% that were buying stuff spent more than $5 per minute. So if we could increase that conversion percent by just a tiny fraction, the revenue per minute, we think, could
drastically go up.
Quite large. So
yeah.
It's a huge upside opportunity. Well, that was just an interesting insight into a problem, but we then set out to look at a solution. And here's where we brought in more of the Wi-Fi information. We were able to look where are they going on their mobile devices, what sites are they visiting, what are they browsing, what are the questions that they have. Are they engaging in social media? Is it positive or negative? What are the themes behind those decisions that are driving the purchase?
So a red dot is?
Staying there for a long period of time.
This is
dwell
moving.
very much like the Google traffic.
And when you pick up something, it becomes...
Well, it can't.
So we know where they're picking these things up by the location of the product.
And because you know what's in what they've bought, so you are retrofitting it backwards.
You retrofit,
and then the technology to use it is using this underneath the trolley.
Yep.
And that?
That's pretty much it. These
how much are those devices worth approximately? Give us
So the street price of this is about $100. I foresee this dropping precipitously in price as they become
Is it like a blue
widespread.
What is this?
This is just infrared. In fact, there are several different modes that you can have here, but there's just little LEDs inside here. Some of them have a sleeve around them, others are wide open, and the different modes turn them on. Like this one up here has 4 unsleeved LEDs, so if you turn them all on, it'll blast your whole room with IR. It's used by hospitals and things like that to tell is the bed or the wheelchair still in that room. But we have just one that has a sleeve down here, and so that produces a very narrow column of infrared light. And each one is tagged, so there's a unique ID on this, the serial number that shows up in the infrared code. And the Cisco Mobility